I've realized that my default operating system has been that fight or flight. And as much as I've been coaching other people out of it, I haven't been listening to my own advice. Right. So that's been my biggest piece. So now I'm purposely taking my own medicine. I'm listening to the things that I say. I'm journaling. I'm doing the work. I coach my clients to do. I'm doing it myself from the beginning. And it's been beautiful. There's been so much change, and it's been fantastic.
Welcome to Career Coaching Secrets, the podcast where we talk with successful career coaches on how they built their success and the hard lessons they learned along the way. My name is Davis Nguyen, and I'm the founder of Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to $100,000 years, $100,000 months, and even $100,000 weeks. Before Purple Circle, I've grown several 7- and 8-figure career coaching businesses myself, and have been a consultant at 2 career coaching businesses that are doing over $100 million each. Whether you're an established coach or building your practice for the first time, you'll discover the secrets to elevating your coaching business.
Welcome to Career Coaching Podcast. I'm Annie, and today we're joined here by Kip Jon. He is an applied behavioral scientist and an executive coach, aka perception architect. He helps elite leaders sharpen mental performances and lead with clarity and emotional intelligence. From Fortune 100 C-suites to professional athletes and special forces, Kip helps human-centered leaders and behavioral science enter into real-world high-stake performance. Welcome, Kip.
Thank you so much, Annie. It's great to be here.
Oh my gosh. You sound super cool and down to earth. I was actually kind of nervous talking to you because I thought you'd be like super hardcore, straight edge, right? You're like training special forces. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, no, I think life has mellowed me quite a bit since then.
Really? So there used to be like a version of you that was like a super straight, or how were you before?
I think there was a time, when I was a lot younger, and I thought that was how I should be, and how, especially with the clients that I was working with and stuff like that. I don't think that lasted very long. It quickly faded, and I realized I just needed to be me, and that's what people were looking for anyway, right? So, but yeah, there was definitely a time when I thought, oh, I better show up how I think they want me to be. And I'm glad I shed that quickly.
That's so funny because that is exactly what I thought you would be too. I'm all like, oh, he's going to be so serious. And you come out like super chill, super warm and friendly. I'm just super excited. Oh, how did you get into coaching? I was just telling you how like your name has help in it. Kip Jon Welpley has help in it. And it feels like it's your destiny to help people. How did you start becoming a coach?
Well, it's interesting you say that because it was a long time into my career before somebody actually pointed that out to me, that it was in there, and I never really noticed it before. But I think it's always been a part of me. I think it's always been in there. I grew up in a family of strong leaders. My mom was an amazing leader. My dad, same thing. They were always helping and developing the people that they worked with. So, and we were a family very involved. My mom was a general manager for a ski hill growing up, and she did other things as well, but that was the one where we really got to pay attention and see what she did. And, so we were there all the time watching and learning and seeing that. So that started there. And then the official coaching route happened more by accident than anything else. It was in university, going for psychology and theater. Those were the two areas of interest. And I was working with a professor doing a teaching practicum, actually, and he was teaching theater. But his main thing was he was in the behavioral science world. And back then, that was a very new thing. That was early 2000s, and that was a new field that didn't have the science backing it up yet. It just had a lot of the applied, let's go research it, let's go do it and see what it is. And I saw the things that he was doing, and I saw the people that he was working with and the transformations that he was having with these people. And I was blown away. I was like, this is like magic. And I decided that I was going to follow in his footsteps and mentor with him, and did so for almost 10 years. And I just learned as much as I possibly could and absorbed as much as I possibly could. And then I worked my way up through the ranks within his organization and his company. And then sadly, he passed away, and that changed, it made a shift for me in my career, but I eventually ended up coming back into coaching again, and I've stuck with it ever since.
My gosh, do you want to give a shout out to your mentor and your professor?
Yes, absolutely. Keith Perry was his name. An incredible human being. Ended up being best man at my wedding. He was wise soul beyond anybody I've ever met, and just a true beautiful human.
Thank you so much. I hope he is looking down and like super proud of you continuing his work and helping as many people as possible.
Me too.
Yeah. How have you discovered who you're going to help, the people that come to you?
That's been a journey over the years. It's been like everybody who's ever started a business, whether it's coaching or underwater basket weaving, it doesn't matter what the business is. You start off and you want to do as much for everybody as you can. And you know, like all your clients will be good clients. You just want to get everybody in the door and help out and have that business run. And I did the same when I started on my own. And I had the advantage of having worked with some really incredible people already through his firm and that kind of stuff. And so I had a bit of a taste of who I liked to work with and who I didn't. My favorite on the planet still is working with kids. I think they're the best clients in the whole world because they're open to everything and they see the world with this wonderful, unfiltered, or I guess undistorted filter. And I love them. But as far as, and then over the years, again, taking on so many clients and working with as many people, I realized that I've become incredibly selective now. And for me, it's really about people that really want to see difference. They want to have changes in their lives. They want to, I work in the leadership field. So people that really want to lead and do that the right way. There's two types of clients nowadays that I bump into. There's the ones that want to coach because other really successful people have a coach, so they think they should have one, and they want that coach because it puts them on a pedestal almost. And then there's the ones that want to coach because they really want to coach and they really want to do the work and they really want to get into it. And that's where I've decided that that's where I want to be. Yeah.
Wow. So you coach coaches as well as people who need coaching. Wow. Sweet. Is there like a specific sector or industry that you help people the most in coaching?
Right now, for coaching in general, my coaching for coaches right now is people that are scaling up into, again, in the leadership field, right? So their business is growing, right? So they're going like, I was a coach, I was doing it by myself. Now I have a team. And that's the lessons that they're learning is indicative to anybody who has that transition, right? So if you're going from whether a solopreneur and now all of a sudden you have a team, or you're working in a business and you've taken that step into leadership, and you know you were the tactician who was amazing at whatever that thing was that you were amazing with, and now you've taken the promotion to now leading a bunch of people who are amazing at that, but you no longer actually really do that thing anymore. You actually lead people, which is a completely different skill set. So I work with coaches that are going into that field of, I was a great coach. I'm an amazing coach. I'm great at that stuff. And now I have a team of people that are doing some of the other things for me and I need to actually lead them. So how does that work? And that's a very different world.
Yeah, that is a huge transition. And I'm so glad that you're able to be there to guide them through like this next evolution of their business, that next growth step. Because it is hard to manage like 10 times more people, 10 times more problems.
Exactly.
How do they find you?
For me, I have been very blessed with the world of word of mouth. So up until the last little while, I've been able to rely on that 100%. And when I say the last little while, I'm making some shifts within my own business to going to online courses and those kinds of avenues, which is going to shift for me now to, hopefully there'll be some word of mouth there, but it's a new avenue, and I'm going to have to do marketing, which is scary, but yeah. So I've been very lucky up to this point. It's been word of mouth, but now I'm diving into that new world myself.
My gosh, I'm super excited for you. I looked at your LinkedIn and it looks like you had a production company for quite a long time. And I feel like it's the perfect time to marry that together and do that course and use your theater experience to marry all your skills together. How do you feel about that?
It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's like you said, it is a good marriage. I'm excited to do it. Like anything, it's that scary part, right? Where I'm not worried. Like the courses, I create courses all the time for my clients. I work a lot in the pharma world, and I'm constantly creating workshops for them and that kind of stuff. So the course is creating that kind of the teaching. That's okay. I'm good. I feel good about that. I mean, you can always learn more, and I'm excited about that. I guess where I'm nervous and apprehensive is now the marriage of like, okay, I've got to get out and talk to people about this. I've got to get back in front of the camera. I have a podcast that has fallen down a little bit. I've taken some time away from it, and I need to get that back. So I need to get public facing again, which is something I haven't had to do for a while. I did it lots with the production company, but it's been a few years. So I got to shake off some cobwebs. I'm excited, but there's definitely some cobwebs there that need to be rattled.
I'm so excited because the fact that you're here jumping on a podcast, and I was looking on YouTube and you were in another podcast too. I feel like the cobwebs are going to just float away easily. You were meant to be on camera. You were meant to be.
Well, thank you.
I was just like, this guy has a radio voice. I would listen to you for hours.
I wish my kids felt the same, but they don't. But I get it.
Yeah. So we were just kind of touching on this, but I really want to know, what's your biggest, hairiest dream for the next 2 years? Is it to scale your podcast, scale your coaching? Like, what are big aspiration numbers that you want to hit?
Yeah, it's been, I've definitely come to a place like we talked about where there's a transition. There's a change in the business that's happening right now. Most of everything up to this point has been me, by myself, doing that kind of thing and working solo. And I really want to get back to the structure and life that I had when I had my production company, where I was leading the team. I was working on my business versus in my business. And that's a big shift that I want to do. So the big hairy goals, the big hairy ambitions is I want to create that course community. I want to create that online community. I really want to be able to reach out to more people. I want to be able to help more people, and I want people to benefit from the knowledge that I have, and then collectively the knowledge that the people that I work with have. The clients that I have, they have some incredible insights into things, and I want them to have an opportunity to do that. So that's a very broad view, a very, the numbers as far as what that's going to look like and all that kind of stuff. I could bring out spreadsheets, but I won't bore you with it. But essentially,
it's spreadsheets. I'm here for the numbers. Do you have like a number, like, I don't know, 10 people being shy, or like 100 people in a year that you want to be able to impact? Because you potentially can reach like millions of people online.
Yeah. And it's, for me, I struggle with the, like all people that are starting off on that new switch or transition of the business, is that I understand and can see the impact that I can have and the scalability of this if it's done right. I also know that the reality is that it's a tremendous amount of work, and there is a tremendous amount of me getting out of my own way in order to do that. So sometimes I'm like, I would love to say that, I would love my membership to be at the end of the year. And it is a realistic-ish view, if I do the work, to be around 500. Right? Like, yes, I could do that. End of 2026, I could have 500 members for my membership site and constant course creation, stuff like that. I could also have 2,000. I could also have 20, so I'm like, I know what I'm shooting for. 500 is that number, but I also realize too, I get in my own way of being like, don't doubt that. You just have to do the work. You've got to do the work. But yeah.
I see it. You have all the tools there. I see it for you, and you're taking up all the action too. And I sense the reservation, but the reservation is like normal because you're just going through it. Yeah. What is your current coaching like right now? Do you do one-on-ones, groups? How does it look like? What are your offers?
Offers right now, I have there's two main functions that go on. So I have clients right now that book me on like a year-long retainer. So those are my executives, and what'll happen within those groups is very much one-on-one. right? So it's one-on-one. It's not a scheduled like one every 2 weeks kind of thing. I'm on retainer, whatever they're going through. I've worked with these guys and gals for a long time, most of them, and they know that, if they're going through a troubled time, I'm definitely there, through a period of time. If it's slow and I don't hear from them for 2 months, that could be the case too. So there's that. It's not very structured, but I have those clients there. Most of my CEOs are in that world. And then I have the other tier where it is much more of a structured program. And that is right now it's within different organizations. I haven't opened it up to the public, but I have 3 different organizations that have a program where we have 6 sessions over 3 months. Included within those are 3 group sessions. So in a cohort, there's usually about 12 to 15 people, and they'll have one-on-one sessions, and then they have group sessions within that. The reasons it's different is because with this group, there's much more learning attached to it. So it's almost like a coaching consulting marriage within these groups, because a lot of these leaders are either new to leadership or they've been in it for 3 to 5 years kind of thing, and they really want to hone their skills. So there's coaching aspect, but there's also like, let's learn some real techniques and tools as we go along and apply them, that kind of mix. So those are the 2 that I have right now that keep me pretty busy.
Yeah, I can definitely see how like expanding out to an online reality can help you expand the students or like the CEOs that you can touch. Yeah, and the founders, and expanding all those group sessions and maybe turning them into retreats too.
Very
Like
much
big
so.
year-round retreat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the radar for sure, especially with us traveling around in these hotter areas and things. We're looking for property to buy, and it's on the list. Is this big enough to be able to build
Buy
a
one
retreat
in
on?
Vietnam so we can hang out.
There you go. Excellent.
Go. Yeah. I've been doing a lot of traveling as well for conferences. And I know that a lot of people really enjoy doing masterminds, right? And part of the masterminds is the ability to travel to new locations, expand your mind, expand your knowledge, and just visiting cool places with cool people. So I can see that for you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big thing. The ability to get out of your bubble in general, even if it is just virtually, right? To get out of your bubble, but ultimately physically to get out of your bubble, it's so good for you, right? Super powerful.
It is. We were talking about video production and podcasting. Where do you imagine like your main platform to be on? Is it going to be YouTube, LinkedIn? Where will you live online?
I think the reality of it is for me, because I've tried out different things over the last little while, what I like, what I don't like doing. I have difficulty doing the talking head into the camera, like videos. I'm not comfortable with it yet. Maybe it's my generation. Maybe it's, I don't know what it is, but I'm not super comfortable with it. Maybe I can get there. We'll see. So that whole idea of like, cause my kids are always like, you need to get on TikTok, and I'm like, no, but yes, but no. Plus the people that I work with aren't really on TikTok. So, there's that idea. So Instagram, there's an idea there for sure. Yeah. But I'd see more YouTube again with the podcast itself. I love interviewing people. I really do. I love talking. What you're doing right now, Annie, I love doing that. I think it's great. You learn so much about people. You get to, experience moments with them. I love it live. I'd love to have a live studio, so people can come in and chat, and just the knowledge that you can gain from people is amazing. So I have a deep passion for that. I want to get back into that for sure. I think that can be shared on LinkedIn as well. And then let's be honest, I'm not an expert at this stuff. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where that adventure takes us. I'm sure there's some people that I will attract into my sphere that will be amazing at this, and they'll be able to say, yes, no, try this, try that. So I'm excited about that.
I'm excited for you. I feel like we were meant to meet, and we were supposed to help each other out. Yeah, in this coaching space. Like, I know us here at like Purple Circle and Career Coaching Secrets, like we're doing a podcast right now. We can just literally give you all our formula so that you can kind of take it and use it as well for your podcast.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very serendipitous.
I kind of want to play a business game with you.
Okay.
It's called First, Last, Best, Worst. And it's just
Okay.
all about investing, business decisions. And you just tell me what's the first thing that comes to mind. Are you ready?
Got it.
Awesome. Okay. What is the first business investment that you remember making?
First thing that came to my mind. It's not the first business investment that I made, but it's the first one that failed epically. So, and I probably learned hands down the most from, but I started a clothing store with my ex-wife, and it was kids clothing for babies. And we both had no idea how to do that. We had some investment money that we were putting into it. We put our own money into it. It was, again, failed horribly at this. But fantastic learnings. So that would be probably the first one that, I don't even think it lasted a year. Yeah, it was not a good one.
That was pretty baller of you guys. You're just like, YOLO, we're going to do this. We're entrepreneurs. We're going to,
Yeah.
we believe in ourselves. And that's the exact kind of energy you need to fail fast and learn.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Oh my
There was
God.
definitely some fast failing there. Biggest lesson learned was do some homework first, passion's good, but a little bit of knowledge in there too. Yeah, that's the key.
Maybe hire a coach to help you.
100%. Just because you're looking from the outside at somebody else do it doesn't mean you can do it.
Yeah. We always have what's that effect call where you think you'd be really good at it in the beginning. It's not the Doppler effect. No,
Well,
I can't.
I should be able to name this off my head.
I know. I always forget it.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Dunning-Kruger.
Dunning-Kruger. Yes.
Yes, that's the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Yeah.
What is the last business investment that you've made?
The last business investment I've made?
Yeah.
Last technical business investment I made, I invested in a startup company, and powerful investment went in. It was in the cannabis field. In Canada, it's legal and all that kind of stuff. So it was a startup company there. Built it up very quickly, and it was a quick build and a sell, and it went really, really well. It was great. So that would be the last technical one. An odd one that may not be considered to other people as a business investment was, and we were talking about this before we jumped on, was this trip, Annie, this trip down to Mexico. And the discovery of that. Part of that was I need to shake things up in my life a little bit. I need to get out of my sphere. I need to, do that kind of thing. And investing in the time to come down here and go through that travel. And again, almost like learn about yourself again, like you do it as a teenager when you go and travel for the first time, do that again has been the best business investment I've made probably ever.
That's incredible. And you're doing it with your wife and kids. I am super curious. What is something new you learned about yourself that you didn't know before?
Ooh. It's like, how deep and raw do I want to get on this podcast? Hey, I'm like, because there's been a lot. There's been a lot. I'll very honest with you and very raw with you. I realized that I've been spending a lot of times, quite a few years, in fight or flight myself, and really being in an environment where that was shone back at me in a mirror of and when I say fight or flight, that stress response world, starting a new business, starting new things, growing different things, working with new clients, all those kind of things. It's just been pressure, which has put me in very much a fight or flight state. And then I've been existing in that so long that my day-to-day reactions in my normal life have also been like that. And then coming on this trip and having that magnified and then realizing why can't I just relax? I'm supposed to be in a place where I can relax and enjoy my life, but I can't. My shoulders are constantly up like this. I'm so cranky all the time, all of these pieces. I've realized that my default operating system has been that fight or flight. And as much as I've been coaching other people out of it, I haven't been listening to my own advice. Right. So that's been my biggest piece. So now I'm purposely taking my own medicine. I'm listening to the things that I say. I'm journaling. I'm doing the work. I coach my clients to do. I'm doing it myself from the beginning. And it's been beautiful. There's been so much change, and it's been fantastic. But yeah, that's probably the biggest one.
Yeah, I relate to that too. Just always on the stressor because there's a fear. I don't know
Yeah.
if what your fear was, but mine, like I was an immigrant. My parents didn't
Mhm.
have very much. And so I'm like, I need to make it. I need to make this work. And it was always just drilling myself until like I talked to a therapist because I was so burnt out. And they're like, hey, you worked really hard to get here. You need to slow down and enjoy life around you. Otherwise, like it's just gonna speed on by. You
Yeah.
talked about journaling, but I want to know more about like what are the coaching advices you would give to your clients on top of journaling?
Journaling is one method of essentially getting what's in your head out, right? We go to therapy. Therapy is one of the best things you could do. Everybody should be going to a therapist. In Western culture, especially, we only treat things when they're broken. We only worry about negative impacts versus supporting positive impact. Medicine's quite a bit messed up, but in our view and how we look at it. So therapy should be for everybody. Sometimes it's not accessible. Sometimes you're not able to, things like that. So you need to be able to have a bit of therapy without the therapist. And journaling is one of those tools that allows you to physically, biologically get things out of your head onto paper. And with journaling, it could also lead to, there's a reason why art therapy is very powerful. Again, you're physically getting things out on your, dancing, moving, like movement is one of the best ways to express the body in any way, shape, or form and create physiological change before you create mental change, right? I can go down the rabbit hole of all this. The science behind it's amazing. So for me, it's not 1, 2, or 3 different methods. It's dependent on the person that I'm talking to. Right? Even you, Annie, like I noticed when we were talking right then, and I was saying journaling, not a lot of response from you. When I was saying, like art therapy, not so much. But when I said dancing, you started moving in your chair, right? You started getting excited. And I was like, okay, so we got a really kinesthetic person here. Let's talk. I'd be like, okay, let's lean into the movement piece, like, is it dancing? Is it yoga? Is it, you need to express this out of your body. Because what happens is that stress accumulates in your mind, it accumulates in your body. And one of the first things that we try to do is to get it out of our head. Well, really, one of the best things you could do is get it out of your body first, and then your mind will follow, right? So how do you do that? That's one of the quickest ways to start to unleash that tension, unleash that stress, unleash those kind of pieces. And then there's diving. Again, it's more complicated, but that's, I would say, is a roundabout way of saying it's very individualized, but it is a big focus on a lot of what we do.
Wow. Thank you for breaking it down, journaling, dancing, and also just figuring out what works for you. I like how you just read me there. Wow, that was like a superpower of just like what makes you tickle, and it's dancing. You're right. I like to like jive a little bit. Well, Kip, thank you so much for joining us on our podcast. I think you are incredibly insightful. You are super knowledgeable, and I really appreciate how you kind of opened up about what you're going through and teaching us how to kind of overcome the fight or flight challenge that everyone kind of goes through.
Thank you. It's been
Thank
great.
you. So let's tell the audience how we can find you and follow you and where we can find you. Yes.
Where you can find me, first and foremost, LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn, Kip Jon. It's KIPJON. You can find me in there. Instagram, you can find me there. Same thing, Kip Jon. But the easiest, quickest way is website. It's kipjon.com. And it has all the links to everything else in there. So KIPJON.com.
Okay, so if you want to follow Kip Jon, just follow all the links down below. Thank you so much. We will see you next time, hopefully on your YouTube channel.
Yes, that'd be amazing. Thank you so much.
That's it for this episode of Career Coaching Secrets. If you enjoyed this conversation, you can subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to this episode to catch future episodes. This podcast was brought to you by Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to $100,000 years, $100,000 months, or even $100,000 weeks, all without burning out and making sure that you're making the impact and having the life that you want. To learn more about our community and how we can help you, visit joinpurplecircle.com.